The pen trembled in her hand as she slid the papers across the marble counter. Our brand new marble counter. The one I'd spent 3 weekends perfecting because she wanted it white with subtle veining. The scent of fresh paint still clung to the air, mingling with a sharp tang of betrayal. "Daniel," she said softly, her voice steady in the way someone's voice is when they've rehearsed heartbreak. "I think it's time." I looked down. Petition for divorce. My name and hers printed neatly in black ink. 10 years of my life reduced to 6 sheets of paper and a trembling signature line. I thought I'd misheard her. Maybe she meant time for a break, time for dinner, time to unpack. Not time to end us. But she didn't flinch. The sound that came out of me was somewhere between a laugh and a choke. "You're kidding, right? Today. This morning, you cried when we walked in the door." Her eyes glistened. "I know. And that's why it's the right time. I couldn't keep pretending, Daniel." The room was spinning. The walls I painted with my own hands, seemed to tilt. I stared at her, at the woman I had built this house for. Every corner of it a reflection of her dreams. Her dream kitchen. Her dream garden. Her dream walk-in closet. I used to joke she'd never leave it once we moved in. Turns out she wouldn't need to. It began 10 years ago, when we were just a young couple with a plot of land and a promise. I told her I'd build her the house she'd always wanted. No contractors, no shortcuts, no compromises. Every nail, every tile, every screw placed by me. She'd smile, call me her architect of love, and we'd talk about where our future kids would play. I worked overtime, missed birthdays, turned down promotions. Every paycheck went into bricks and beams, every heartbeat into blueprints and sweat. And she'd always say, "It's our dream, Danny. Our forever." But somewhere between foundation and finishing, she changed. Little things. The way she flinched when I hugged her from behind. The growing distance in her voice. The phone she never left unattended. Noticed. Course I did. But I told myself she was tired. Stressed. Everyone changes after 10 years. Besides, who betrays the person building them a home? Is there someone else? I asked now, the words slicing through the silence. She hesitated just a second, but it was enough. My stomach sank. "Sarah." My voice cracked. "Please. Just tell me the truth." She closed her eyes, tears sliding down her cheeks like raindrops over glass. "It wasn't supposed to happen." I staggered back, my heart pounding. "Who?" Her lips trembled. "David." The name hit me like a blow. My best friend. My best man. The guy who'd helped me pour concrete for the driveway. Who'd toasted to a love that lasts forever at our wedding. "David," I repeated, as if saying it could somehow make it less absurd. "My David." She nodded weakly. "I didn't plan it, Danny. You were always working, always building. I was lonely." He listened. My mind flashed with images. The nights I stayed late sanding the floors, the weekends I spent installing windows, the messages she'd said were from her sister. I felt the air leave my lungs. I'd been building a monument to my own stupidity. The next hours passed like a dream I couldn't wake from. She said she'd move in temporarily, alone, while we sorted things out. As if sorting out 10 years of marriage and deceit was a matter of unpacking boxes. She packed a single suitcase. I watched her hands fold her clothes with the same care I'd used to carve the staircase railing. Before she left, she turned to me. "Danny, this house. It's beautiful. You did everything I ever wanted." I stared at her, hollow. Then why am I the only one who can't live in it? Nights bled into each other after that. I stayed in a motel on the edge of town, where the air smelled of bleach and regret. I couldn't bring myself to go back. Not to the house, not to her. But one night I drove there anyway. The moon hung low, pale and indifferent, as I turned down the long gravel driveway. The lights were on. My chest tightened. I parked, stepped out quietly, the gravel crunching underfoot. Through the living room window, I saw movement. 2 figures laughing, clinking wine glasses. David's voice floated faintly through the open pane, deep and familiar. Her laugh followed, The same one she used to reserve for me. My hand found the front door handle, but I couldn't turn it. Instead, I pressed my palm against the glass, feeling the cold seep through. They were dancing, barefoot, carefree, the way she and I used to. In my house. In the home I built for us. I should have felt rage. I should have wanted to storm in, to destroy, to scream. But all I felt was emptiness. A vast, hollow quiet that swallowed me whole. I turned away. Weeks passed. The divorce went through easily. She'd already filed everything. I didn't contest. What was there to fight for? The house went to her. She kept the furniture, the garden, even the piano I'd bought her for our anniversary. One day, the construction company I'd worked for called. They'd been approached for a renovation project. The address they gave made my heart stutter. My house. I asked for the details. They said the new owner, a Mr. and Mrs. Daniels, wanted to modernize the exterior, add a pool, and expand the master suite. Mr. and Mrs. Daniels. Her new name. I didn't go to see it. Not for months. But one evening I couldn't resist. I parked a few streets away, watching from the hill where I'd once stood with her, showing her the layout in my sketchbook. The house looked different now. Bigger. Flashier. The warm amber glow I once envisioned as home now seemed foreign, almost mocking. I saw them through the window again. Sarah and David sitting by the fireplace, laughing. A single word burned in my chest, mine. Not her. Not them. Not even the love that was gone. But the work, the years, the piece of myself buried in that house. So I made a decision. Dawn I returned. Quiet. Calculated. I walked through the side gate, past the garden I'd planted, and unlocked the tool shed. My key still fit. Funny how betrayal forgets small details. I didn't come to destroy, just to take something back. Inside I found the beam under the stairs, the one I'd hollowed slightly years ago to place a metal box. Inside that box was a letter, sealed and dated on the day I laid the first brick. I'd written it for her, for us, a promise of the life we'd build. For every wall I raise, I'm keeping us safe. For every room I design, I'm giving you a piece of me. Took it. Left the rest. Months later I moved to another city. Started fresh. A small apartment, nothing fancy. Sometimes I still dream of that house. The creak of the floors, the smell of pine, the echo of laughter through unfinished walls. And sometimes I imagine her sitting there years from now, wondering why the floors near the staircase sound hollow. Maybe one day she'll find that empty space, and she'll know something's missing. Not the letter,